Welcome to the Two Guys in a Cooler channel. My name's Eric, and today, really excited because in this episode, we're going to be making duck prosciutto. Now, if you're new to charcuterie and you've got the fresh sausage thing down and you want to know what's next, this is a great next step. Duck prosciutto is incredibly easy to make. It doesn't take very long, and you can generally do it without a whole lot of fuss. And so let me show you what we're going to do. What we've done so far is weigh out the duck breasts, and I've jotted that weight down, and that particular weight is going to be the base number as to how much ingredients I'm going to put in here. I'm going to mix up all of my ingredients together, and the recipe I use is posted below, and then I'm going to make sure that I cover all of those duck breasts with 100% of that seasoning mix. Now, we're doing something called the equilibrium cure, which means I'm going to use up all of that seasonings. I don't want to waste a single drop. In this recipe, I used cure number 1. Now, this is incredibly important. Cure number 1 is used when generally you're going to be drying something outside of refrigeration for under 30 days. If you use cure number 2, typically you're going to be drying something outside of refrigeration for over 30 days. Well, these particular duck breasts only weigh about 200 grams or less than a half a pound, and I know that they're going to take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So cure number 1 is sufficient for this particular project. All I did here was I put everything in a freezer saver bag, vacuum sealed it, and I made sure 100% of all of the ingredients, all of the salt and cure and spices are in that bag. Remember, the equilibrium cure, you measure it to a very precise percentage, and you don't waste anything, and you can't over season it. Now, roughly about 4 days later, this particular bag is ready. Now, I actually waited 2 weeks because I wasn't ready 4 days later, but what's cool about the equilibrium cure is that after the cure time, you can do it when it's convenient for you. You don't have to worry about it getting saltier. Next, I've taken it out of the bag. Man, I don't really want to rinse this off. There's a lot of really great seasonings on here. You got the pepper and the other spices that are going to add a lot of flavor to it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pat it dry. So right here, this is what my product is going to look like. See, I've got a nice little pepper coating on it. I've got some really nice seasonal spices that are going to be adding a lot of flavor to this particular duck. And now we're going to go ahead and put it in a casing. Now, this is where you have a couple different options. You can either not put it in a casing, you could put it in a cheesecloth, or you can put it in some sort of a collagen sheet. Now, if you try to put it inside of an actual casing itself that's circular, you're going to find that it's going to leave a lot of air pockets, and that's generally going to be prone to mold. I like these collagen sheets because you can cut them to fit the right size, and then you don't have any little air pockets. And then obviously, same thing with the cheesecloth. And the only reason you would want a cheesecloth or a collagen sheet or anything like that is to really help control the moisture loss. If you can reduce how fast it dries, you're going to really enhance the flavor profile of your prosciutto, and it's not going to be as dry when you go to eat it. So it's going to be a lot more enjoyable. And so typically cheesecloth, in this case, collagen sheet. I'll put a link below if you want to know where I got either one of these. And this is going to really help control the amount of moisture that's lost so that I can extend that drying time as far as I can. There's a lot of popular videos on YouTube that talk about taking your prosciutto, your duck prosciutto, and hanging it in your refrigerator, and that's great. The only problem with that is that generally a refrigerator has a very, very dry environment. So although technically you will get duck prosciutto, it's going to be a lot drier and a lot tougher, and the flavor is not going to be nearly as developed. What you want to do is you want to put it in a more humid environment at roughly about 50 to 55 degrees. Actually 50 to 60 degrees, somewhere in that range. And so now all I've done was I've secured that collagen casing by tying a couple little knots around the duck, and this is so I can hang it here in a second. Now, that collagen casing is actually going to adhere to the duck and create like a skin layer. Now, because I'm going to be putting it in my chamber with the other charcuterie I have, I'm not going to put any mold or anything on the outside of that. And in the part 2 of this video, the end result of this video, you're going to see how the flora within my chamber will literally just spread like crazy. And now that I've weighed them and I've written down my weights and my targets, I'm going to go ahead and string them up to form one solid line. It's going to save me a little bit of space because I plan on packing that chamber full of product. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have one continual string that's going to have those 4 duck breasts hanging from it. And so there we go. That's what it's going to look like for me. My A represents my actual weight. My T right there represents the weight that I want to get to when I'm finished drying. And I'm roughly looking anywhere between a 38 to 40% weight loss. And so that is where it's going to stay. Now, notice I didn't put any mold 600 or anything like that on it, and I'm not going to need to because it's in such close quarters, and this chamber has been so inoculated with Penicillium nalgiavensis, it's inevitable that that duck prosciutto is going to be covered here within the next probably 48 to 72 hours. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you got any questions about duck prosciutto, leave me a comment in the comment section below. If you're new here, click subscribe, click that bell, and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video. Every week, we're going to be posting all kinds of really cool new projects. And if you got any suggestions, also leave that in the comment section below. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.